Right, yeah, now I've mixed some of the coconut oil in that. You can use a little olive oil, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, what I do is now sprinkle this basically all over the cloth. I sometimes will do that just to make sure all of it has got the wax and the oil mixed together. I'm just going to rub the rest of this out here and then just wash my hands and then I'll be back. Okay, now to save a bit of time, what I actually generally do is put more of it on one and then fold it, get it roughly into it, because it will actually go between the two. Try to keep it all in the cloth if you can. All you need to do then is bring your paper. You can do it with tin foil, but obviously it sticks more. Get your iron on fairly hot and just hold it gently on it. You will notice when it starts to melt, and then have a look at it, John. Here, when it starts to melt, you will obviously see, and you can move the wet wax across it once you get there. And you just continue to do this until it's actually covered. You can see if I open this at the moment, it obviously hasn't moved right through, but it hasn't melted all of it. If you use the iron too hot, you can end up burning the wax, so it's easier to have it reasonably hot and keep the iron moving until you find it. This might take you 2 or 3 minutes. Once you've done this, you can then open it out. Right. Now if you look, I'm pushing on it fairly heavily and the wax is now moving. You can see it bubbling underneath it. As long as you've got it. It may ooze out the side, don't worry, you can always recoup that again on the next cloth or afterwards. But basically you do it until you've moved it all to the edges. But bear in mind this is doing both sides at once, roughly. I will turn it over and just do it out as a single one afterwards. Once I've roughly got to that point, it's only take another minute or so, unpeel your sheet. Make sure you've not got it running anywhere. It will run off the paper, but you can then undo both sides. Take care, it does get hot. And by then, you've got 3/4 of your sheet done. Just lay it back on there. I actually fold it slightly so you can get each of the edges. So by doing that, I will now just push along the edges here to get the side of that one done. So that side isn't done, but this edge is now coated to the edge. So once you're happy with that, all you do is move it again. I will just turn it and do the other side. So that side that hasn't got so much on now can be coated. All of this wax here can be used eventually, it doesn't matter. I did actually put slightly more wax in that in the end. So there we go. Right, that one that is in actually. You can always tell what you've got it with the liquid coming up the edge. I'm just going to move it slightly, stop it a sec. Right, some of the bits that had stuck around the edge of the paper, all I've done is used a butter knife, a flat one. Just pulled them off. You don't necessarily need all of them, but just for the last couple of corners, paper over, and just complete until you've actually finished and it's well covered with that wax. So,
right.
Okay, that's all covered. However, there's a couple of little bits here that are still stuck. All you need to do, if you get that, is just iron it back in. That's it. And pull your cloth off. Once you're happy that your cloth is totally covered in the wax, Again, mind, because it might be a bit hot. You may get little areas with a little bit of wax on it, doesn't matter. All you then do is just hold it up to put it on, I peg it up to dry. And once you've done pinking shears round the edge, or cut into it, because the pinking shears will obviously stop it from fraying. When you've actually done that, you can use it for virtually anything, and I'll just show you in a second what things I actually use it for. Thank you. I've got an older one here that I'm just going to revitalise, and that's using some of the wax that's still on the paper, just so you know you don't have to waste anything. You can see where I've got a little bit on there why I don't use the ironing board. That's it. Okay, that'll do.
Got it.
If you're going to cut it, I suggest you do it in, well, with pinking shears, but do it double, because it actually saves half the time and it actually gives you a much neater edge. Doesn't matter whether it's perfect, and you can see it sticks to itself, even doing this. Just take your bits off. This one, I'm actually going to be cutting in half, so obviously I'm going to do that and do that. It just saves you having quite so many little bits on it. This is one that I'm going to just use and show you. I need a new one for cheese. These are some that I've actually just started. I'm refreshing. I've got quite a lot. So once you've cut all this, to wrap your cheese in it, I'll just show you how it sticks. Now the cheese goes straight in it. Wrapped straight over, and this will now actually stick to itself. I just do a fold, and then wrap it over. That goes in the fridge, and that actually will stay. Exactly the same with sandwiches or anything if you're going out. This one is some kefir I made earlier, courtesy of Pauline, thank you very much. And if I cut this into a smaller one, obviously, it will give me a nice wrap just for putting round small cups and that. So if you've got something you actually want to keep, and this is a classic kefir, because it has to breathe, I gather, isn't a good one because it will keep the moisture in. So by just wrapping around and squashing the edges, it will actually keep, it's not watertight obviously, but it keeps the flies off in the fridge. It saves you having to use cling film to wrap anything up in. I use it to wrap a whole loaf of bread. Unfortunately we've just used the last one, but my husband does a homemade loaf, a large one, and one of this size actually does a whole loaf of bread. And again, all you do is use the same technique of folding and wrapping. This you could obviously put in a smaller one, but just to give you an idea, you probably could get away with half of one of those for doing it. So that's my homemade wax wraps, and to clean them, all you need to do, as I say, is lukewarm, little bit of soapy water. If it's not greasy, then you don't necessarily need soap in it. If you've just covered the top, dry it, put it on the line and dry it, fold it up and reuse it again.